Divine truth revealed, the supernatural message within you manifests heavenly blessings. In the quaint village of St. Anne's, something thrilling was in the air, something divine. The chapel, bathed in soft gold light from countless flickering candles, felt alive, a sacred heartbeat pulsing within its walls. Martha, a devoted single mother in her late 30s, kneeling in the front pew, poured her heart into fervent prayers. Tears streamed down her face as she begged for guidance. Her son Jake, once a beacon of promise, now stood lost in the shadows of addiction. She knew there was a miracle waiting just beyond the veil. She could feel it. As the last hymn faded, the illumination of the chapel grew brighter, and a soft whisper reverberated through her being. "Hold fast, Martha. A divine miracle is at hand." Those words ignited a flame of hope in her heart, stirring faith deep within her soul. She felt a presence, warm, comforting, wrap around her like a mother's embrace. Was this answer from God? The very thought made her spirit soar. The following week, during a community retreat, a distinguished elder stood before the congregation and shared a prophetic word about miracles. The air thickened with sacred energy, anticipation electrifying the space. Martha's heart raced. This was her confirmation. She rushed forward to share her revelation, but as she spoke to her fellow church members, skepticism rippled through the group. Some questioned her faith, doubting the message's authenticity. Her heart sank as similar doubts crept into her home. Jake, slipping further away from the faith he once embraced, refused to participate in family prayers. Each night, Martha whispered her supplications, her voice trembling as a chilling loneliness permeated their home. The darkness felt oppressive, but she clung to the prophetic word, that divine promise burning brightly within her. Desperation brewed within her as she organized a family prayer vigil, determined to gather support from their spiritual friends. "We can do this together," she insisted, even as Jake's firm refusal twisted her heart. Martha held tight to the conviction that communal prayer could pierce the thickest fog of despair. Martha's urgency summoned the community. They arrived, hearts united as they held hands, surrounding her in steadfast love. The air shimmered with spirit. Hope wrapped around them, bringing tears of faith and joy. They prayed, pouring out their souls for Jake. "Lord, we beg you for divine intervention," Martha cried, believing with every fiber of her being that freedom awaited her son. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As the candlelight flickered and prayers reached their peak, an unexpected sound echoed through the village, an exclamation of awe. Late one evening, Jake burst through the front door, transformed. His eyes sparkled with clarity. His presence radiated light almost tangible, as if a heavy burden had been lifted. The very air vibrated with divine energy as he collapsed into Martha's arms, gratitude spilling from his lips. Joy erupted amongst their family and friends, every heart swelling with thankfulness for the miraculous recovery. Yet, amidst the celebration, Martha found herself grappling with a profound understanding of her divine purpose. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the village, she realized this was not merely a miracle, but the beginning of an even greater journey. The questions flooded her mind. Would Jake hold on to this newfound clarity? And what did this divine intervention truly mean for their lives as a family? The night felt poised on the edge of an even deeper mystery waiting to unfold. Days turned into weeks, and the village of St. Anne's began to vibrate with an energy that felt unusually alive. Martha watched as Jake stepped tentatively into his old life. A spark ignited within him. He smiled more, laughed easily, and even took the initiative to help others battling their own shadows. Each small act was a shimmering testament to his healing. But amidst this revival, Martha felt a tugging at her heart. The questions that had bubbled to the surface after Jake's return home remained. Would her son remain steadfast in this newfound faith? What about their family's purpose beyond this moment of joy? Each day, as she walked through the village, she noticed echoes of pain and struggles in the lives of others. It was as if the divine had opened her eyes to the greater need that surrounded them. One evening, after a fulfilling day of helping to organize a community meal, Martha found herself in the chapel once again. The familiar aroma of beeswax and old wood wrapped around her. She lit a candle at the altar, each flickering flame a prayer for guidance. "Lord, what do you want from us?" Her voice was soft but unwavering, echoing in the sacred space. She sensed the cool night air shift as if the heavens were about to respond. Suddenly, without warning, the chapel filled with light. It was not the ordinary glow of the candles. This was a brilliant, radiant illumination that enveloped her in warmth. Martha's breath caught in her throat. The light shimmered and swirled, and she felt that sweet presence wrap around her once more. "Martha," the voice called, clearer now, "you must share Jake's story." Her heart raced. "Share it?" she whispered, half puzzled, half eager. The divine unction wrapped her in peace as understanding started to seep in. The miracle of healing must be a blessing for others, too. Her thoughts swirled with excitement and apprehension. What could she say? How could her son's story inspire others still trapped in the dark? She envisioned gathering the community, perhaps sharing a testimony in the chapel that had given her so much hope. Martha felt a burden lift. The purpose seemed clear now. As she emerged from her thoughts, she caught sight of a figure in the doorway. It was Jake, looking at her with curious eyes. He stepped inside, the night's chill clinging to his clothes. "Mom, I had the most incredible conversation with Mr. Harper today. He's struggling again." Martha felt her spirit align with his words. "Jake, I think there's something more we need to do," she said, her voice imbued with a new fervor. "We should help him." Jake nodded slowly, the weight of newfound responsibility settling on his young shoulders. And others too, right? With determination sparking in their hearts, they stepped out into the night. Hand in hand, they strolled through the village, feeling the stirring of divine momentum, a mission to connect and heal. Martha looked up to the sky, where twinkling stars bore witness to the intentional path they were embarking on together. The laughter of children echoed from a nearby playground, a sound that collided with the heaviness of street corners where souls lingered, yearning for hope. As they approached, Martha's heart swelled with anticipation. What would this journey demand of them? Could they truly impact the lives of those still bound in chains? An unexpected thought flashed through her mind. What if the miracle was just the beginning of a collective awakening? Thus, a new chapter unfolded, filled with divine potential, promises, and the unknown. Would faith carry them through the challenges that awaited? As they walked deeper into the heart of St. Anne's, the cool evening air seemed to hum with possibility. Martha and Jake felt an electric anticipation, as if the very universe was waiting for their next move. With each step, they drew ever closer to unknown challenges, yet a lightness filled their hearts, a divine clarity kindled by the call to service. "Mama, what do you think Mr. Harper needs?" Jake asked, squinting toward the shadows ahead, where the old man often sat on a rickety bench, nursing his despair like a forgotten memory. Martha paused, feeling the pull of compassion rise within her. "Sometimes, Jake, people need more than just help. They need to feel seen, to know they're not alone." Jake nodded, reflecting on the weight of those words. "If we share our story, do you think it will help him?" "I believe it will," she replied, her voice steady. "Your story is a miracle. Still, sharing it boldly is a way to connect with others struggling. It's all part of God's plan." As they reached the bench where Mr. Harper sat, they could see the weariness etched into his features, like lines in a well-loved book. He stared off into the distance, lost in a maze of his own thoughts. Martha stepped closer, her heart racing with purpose. "Mr. Harper," she called gently, "may we join you?" He turned, the surprise flickering in his tired eyes. "Ah, Martha, Jake, what brings you here?" Jake smiled, eager to take a chance. "We heard you might need some company. Mom says everyone needs help sometimes." Mr. Harper chuckled softly, but sighed, his smile fading. "I appreciate that, my boy, but I'm not sure there's much anyone can do for me." "That's not true," Jake exclaimed, sparking a flicker of hope. "We have something important to tell you." Martha could see the warmth of her son igniting within Mr. Harper. She placed a hand on Jake's shoulder, urging him on. "It's about Jake's journey, about how he found his way back to joy and purpose. We know your path has been hard, but your story matters too. Our stories can connect us." Mr. Harper's gaze softened, the flicker of recognition lighting up the dim shadows of his heart. "You have a story worth sharing?" "Yes," Jake's enthusiasm was palpable. "When I was lost, I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And then something amazing happened. God showed me my value. He healed my heart. And now I want others to know they can be healed too." Tears glistened in Mr. Harper's eyes as he listened. "You truly believe that?" Martha stepped forward, offering her own insight. "We've seen the light break through darkness, Mr. Harper. Healing isn't just for the lucky few. It's for all of us if we dare to step out in faith." An unexpected silence enveloped them. The night air held its breath, as if nature itself paused to absorb the essence of their shared vulnerability. The wind rustled the leaves, whispering promises of restoration. Mr. Harper blinked away tears, his expression shifting. "You've given me a glimmer of hope that I thought I lost long ago. What do I need to do?" Martha's heart swelled with gratitude. "Let us support you in this. Together, we can open doors for change, for yourself and others still waiting in the shadows." Jake beamed, feeling the weight of their shared mission lightening. "Let's start with a gathering. If we invite more people, they can share their stories too." With renewed determination, the trio began to craft a plan, unknowingly setting the stage for a divine movement that would ripple through the very fabric of their community. But as they forged ahead, a deeper question lingered in Martha's heart. Would they be ready for the storm of emotions and secrets that awaited them? What other burdens lingered, hidden in the hearts of their neighbors? And were they truly prepared for the souls they would encounter on this journey toward healing and transformation? In the days that followed, Martha and Jake poured their hearts into planning the gathering. Every evening, they found themselves at the kitchen table, mapping out ideas, brainstorming ways to inspire others. The aroma of fresh coffee swirled in the air, mingling with the quiet flicker of candlelight that set a serene tone. "I want the community to feel what we felt tonight," Jake said, his eyes sparkling with determination. "A sense of belonging, a touch of hope." Martha nodded, touched by her son's spirit. "Let's create an open space where everyone feels comfortable sharing. We all have stories. Our struggles shape us, but they also connect us." As they made flyers and discussed speakers, Martha felt God nudging her heart. Was this gathering merely a plan born of desire, or a call born from divine intention? She sensed a potent yet gentle force guiding their actions. The divine whispering reassured her in the softest way. Days turned into a week, and anticipation pulsed through the community. Word spread of the gathering at St. Anne's. Some were curious, others skeptical, but all were intrigued. On the night of the event, the church glowed under string lights. Warmth radiated in a soft embrace. People poured in slowly. Familiar faces mixed with strangers, and laughter danced amongst the crowd. Martha's heart swelled as she observed conversation sparking to life, the atmosphere thick with the promise of shared stories. Jake stood at the front, his nervousness tinged with excitement. "Welcome. Thank you for being here. We know that stories have power." His voice rang clear, cutting through the mounting murmur. "Stories heal," Martha added, stepping beside him. "They remind us we are not alone. Each of us has faced trials, moments when hope seemed out of reach." As they spoke, she scanned the faces before her, seeing glimmers of recognition. That ancient feeling of empathy kindled in the hearts of many. She noticed Mrs. Abernathy, a neighbor known for her perpetual smile, dabbing at her eyes. Even the usually stoic Mr. Grant shifted awkwardly, looking at the ground, perhaps wrestling with his own hidden pain. Martha encouraged the audience. "Tonight, we invite you to share your story, or just listen, because you matter, your story matters." The first brave soul, the timid Anna, a young woman who had spent years battling self-doubt, took a deep breath and shared her journey. Her trembling voice grew stronger with each word as she spoke of darkness and despair, followed by the moment she embraced faith. The room hung on her every syllable, rapt with attention. When Anna finished, silence enveloped the room, powerful and sacred. The air was charged with raw emotion, as if everyone suddenly felt included in a sacred mystery unfolding. There was a connection, a divine thread woven through their shared experiences. Jake squeezed his mother's hand, and she felt his hope wash over her. One by one, others began to share. Each revelation fell like gentle rain, nourishing weary hearts. Stories of loss, redemption, and love ignited the atmosphere. Martha started to realize how vital the act of talking was, a release, a shedding of burdens that illuminated the path toward healing. As the night drew on, laughter mingled with tears. Life stories collided, creating a tapestry woven from joy and pain alike. Martha's spirit soared, filled with encouragement and divine clarity. Yet, among the bright moments, a shadow lingered at the edge. She could see Mr. Harper sitting quietly, words trapped beneath his still gaze, as if he bore a heavy secret of his own. She sensed a deeper connection was waiting to unfold, like an untouched story yearning for its moment in the light. As the gathering began to wind down, it struck Martha that they had only begun to scratch the surface. This was just the first wave of a much larger tide. What more would unfold as others stepped forward? What struggles remained locked away in hearts waiting for liberation? And would Mr. Harper muster the courage to share? The atmosphere in St. Anne's was still thick with emotion as the final words of the last speaker faded, leaving a silence that felt sacred and electric. Martha watched as those who had shared their hearts exchanged knowing glances. Each person's voice had woven through the night like strands in a beautiful tapestry, revealing the complexities and beauties of their collective journey. Jake stood near the front, beaming with pride, but his eyes darted nervously toward Mr. Harper. The older man's silence hung like a dark cloud, heavy and unyielding. Martha felt a stirring in her heart, a quiet urging to invite him to break free from his silence. "Before we close this gathering," she said gently, feeling the warmth of the candlelight flickering around her, "I want to offer Mr. Harper a moment to share, if he feels led to." A ripple of surprise spread through the crowd. The gazes turned toward Mr. Harper, whose usual calm demeanor seemed a bit shaken. Martha took a deep breath, feeling the weight of expectation. But she also sensed grace enveloping the room, fostering an atmosphere of encouragement and support. It was as if the very walls of the church whispered to Mr. Harper, coaxing him to release what burden lay upon his heart. After what felt like an eternity, Mr. Harper finally raised his gaze. I appreciate the kindness extended," he began, his voice trembling slightly. "It's just not easy to share." A collective murmur of understanding spread, and he hesitated as if wrestling with thoughts that threatened to overflow. The crowd remained silently attentive, their hearts weaving a blanket of love around him. "I've kept silent for too long," he continued, the tremor in his voice easing. I lost my wife 2 years ago. I thought I could carry the pain alone, that speaking about it would only bring forth the hurt. He paused, swallowing deeply, and Martha could see the battle he faced. She felt the divine tension, the struggle that often resided in vulnerability. But he looked up, determination surfacing in his eyes. I've realized that my story is not just my own. It's a thread in the fabric of our community. She loved this church, believed in every single one of you. His voice grew stronger, and I've learned that sharing our pain, sharing our hopes, allows us to heal together. Tears glistened in Martha's eyes as she witnessed the transformation taking place. There was a soft crack in Mr. Harper's armor. As he spoke of love, loss, and hope, the darkness surrounding him lifted, replaced by a profound sense of belonging. And so, I stand here, he continued, not just as a man who has lost, but as a man who wishes to connect, to be part of this divine tapestry we're weaving together. If my sorrow can touch even one heart tonight, then perhaps I can turn this pain into something transformational. The room erupted in applause and murmurs of support. Martha's heart raced as she felt the spirit of divine connection swelling in the space. A woman from the back stood, tears streaming down her cheeks, and shouted, "You're not alone. We're all here with you." The words echoed in the air, amplifying the shared intention of resilience and community. The gathering began to shift. The energy in the room shimmered with renewed purpose. Conversations reignited, connections deepened, and there was an unspoken agreement to continue these conversations beyond the night. Martha glanced at Jake, and he grinned, his joy radiating like sunbeams breaking through clouds. She knew this was just one step on a much larger journey. The darkness did not simply vanish, but transformed into a beacon of light and hope that illuminated hidden paths ahead. As the church slowly emptied, a sense of purpose lingered in the air. Would this gathering spark an ongoing movement of sharing, healing, and growth? Could they create spaces for continued openness where souls felt safe to share and be transformed? And as Martha turned to gather her belongings, she caught a glimpse of Mr. Harper stepping aside, a contemplative look on his face. What revelations awaited him in the quiet of the night? Would this newfound strength lead to deeper discoveries or a greater understanding of God's divine plan? There was a world waiting to unfold, and they were just beginning to explore it together. Martha stepped outside into the cool night air, inhaling deeply as freedom washed over her. The stars twinkled overhead, illuminating the pathway ahead. A gentle breeze whispered through the trees, as if nature itself rejoiced with the newfound hope swirling through her heart. Each breath felt rejuvenating, a soft reminder of the power of shared stories, the heartbeats of community. Jake joined her, his face still aglow with the excitement of the evening. "Did you see them?" he asked, eyes wide. The way Mr. Harper spoke, it was like he was shedding a weight he didn't even know he was carrying. Martha smiled. "Yes, it's amazing how speaking our truths can lift us higher. It creates light where darkness once lingered." They stood for a moment, absorbing the beauty around them. The vibrant energy from the gathering lingered like a fragrant bloom in the air. Martha thought about the sacred moments just shared, the vulnerability, the words of Mr. Harper, the words of encouragement from the crowd, and the overwhelming feeling that they were all cradled in a divine embrace. God was moving among them, stitching their lives together. As they walked, the church bell chimed softly, marking the hour. Jake stopped and spoke with youthful seriousness. "Martha, what if this is just the beginning? What if we really start a movement? It could bring healing, not just here, but to so many others who feel lost." His words ignited a fire in her spirit. Yes, the world is so in need of connection. We could create regular gatherings where everyone feels welcome to share their struggles and joys. We can show them that they don't have to carry their burdens alone. The excitement bubbled within them both. Martha envisioned a tapestry not just made of words, but woven through shared meals, laughter, and prayer. Together, they could build sacred spaces where souls would feel liberated to express their truth, where every voice mattered, especially the broken ones. As they approached the parking lot, Martha spotted Mr. Harper sitting on a bench, gazing into the distance, wrapped in thought. Her heart swelled with compassion. Should she go and speak with him? Was he okay now? Jake, noticing her gaze, said softly, "Go on. He might need someone to talk to." With a determined nod, Martha made her way toward him. The sounds of their footsteps were muffled by the night, and she felt an unspoken pull guiding her to this moment. "Mr. Harper," she called gently, her heart a mix of nervousness and empathy. He turned slowly, and she could see the vulnerability etched on his face, but also a hint of hope beginning to glimmer. "How are you feeling?" He sighed, and the weight he carried was palpable. "I don't know, really. I think I'm just starting to understand what it means to share, to let others in, to trust." His admission wrapped around her heart. In that moment, they were no longer just two people in a quiet churchyard. They were a part of something larger, an emerging community full of possibility. She could see light creeping into Mr. Harper's spirit, and it sparked a flame of faith in her own heart. Martha took a seat next to him, her presence silent yet inviting. "You are not alone in this. Every person who spoke tonight, they're here with you. We're all holding each other up." Mr. Harper nodded slowly, a tear slipping down his cheek. "It's a strange thing, isn't it? To think that by allowing myself to be vulnerable, I could bring us all closer. I feel we're all being called to something greater." A sense of urgency welled within Martha. "Yes, and perhaps your journey can inspire others too. You're not just healing, you're planting seeds of hope. Imagine the blossoming we can create together." As they spoke, the stars shimmered more brightly overhead, the universe echoing their aspirations. The night was pregnant with possibility, and she understood that they were only at the beginning. Just out of their reach lay greater truths waiting to unfold. "Martha," Mr. Harper said, a smile breaking through his solemn gaze, "what if this is more than a gathering? What if we are being called to something that will change lives?" Her heart raced at the invitation wrapped within his words. But what God has not yet revealed may just lead us to divine transformations. As they sat under the canopy of stars, she realized the night was far from over. They were on a brink of discovery, and whatever lay ahead was woven in threads of faith, hope, and a gentle whisper of a greater calling. What dreams would awaken from this divine inspiration? The soft hum of crickets filled the silence as Martha and Mr. Harper shared the weight of the moment. The cool breeze brushed against their skin, almost as if the very spirit of the earth was breathing hope into their souls. Each star above glimmered like a promise, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that awaited them. "Do you believe," Mr. Harper said, his voice steady but soft, "that our stories hold such power?" Martha nodded, the truth of his question resonating deep within her heart. "Absolutely. They create connections, ignite sparks in others, and help us heal together. Stories are threads of light in the tapestry of our lives." Across the parking lot, Jake glanced back and caught Martha's eye, giving her an encouraging smile. The energy that flowed between them felt almost electric. They were all part of this sacred web, woven together by shared experiences and divine encounters. "Tonight felt like an unveiling," Mr. Harper continued, wiping his eyes. "A glimpse into a world where hearts can speak freely without fear, where love binds us more tightly than our burdens." Martha felt a warmth coursing through her. "And what if we do this again? What if we invite more people to share their truths? We could create a sanctuary for those looking to connect and heal. Would it really work? The doubt lingered in Mr. Harper's eyes. It was a question that echoed outside the realm of possibilities they had tasted that evening. Martha leaned forward, her heart swelling with conviction. Yes, when we come together in authenticity, we build a fortress of faith. We become vessels for God's love, and that light will spread. A flash of wonder illuminated Mr. Harper's face as he contemplated her words. Hope unfurled like a newly blossomed flower within him. "What do we call it?" he asked, enthusiasm rising. "The gathering of hearts," Martha proposed. "A place for sharing, healing, and growing. It could happen here, in this very community, where every story matters." The air thrummed with excitement, tension dissipating like a morning mist. They could almost hear the footsteps of others entering this vision, each individual bringing their unique light. Suddenly, the sound of laughter broke through the evening. Drawing their attention, a group of young adults emerged from the church doors, animated and full of joy. They held hands, radiant with energy and excitement, unaware of the sacred conversation unfolding nearby. "Look," Jake interjected, pointing as they approached. "It's Chloe and the crew. They're going to want to hear about our idea." Martha turned, her spirit lifting at the sight of them. "Yes, they are shining with a joy that is contagious. Let's invite them in." As the group filled the area with their welcome presence, the night seemed to sparkle brighter. Together, they all gathered around, inquisitive looks on their faces. "What's going on?" Chloe asked, a playful smile gracing her lips. Martha took a deep breath, her heart racing with anticipation. "We've had a beautiful conversation about creating a space, a gathering, for sharing our stories and healing together. We want to invite you all." Their excitement was palpable, igniting even further sparks in Martha's heart. Conversations buzzed, sharing ideas and dreams. Hope flowed like a river, reflecting the glimmering stars above. Everyone felt like a part of something greater. But then, amidst the laughter and chatter, a moment of stillness fell. Mr. Harper, touched by the unity blooming around them, asked quietly, "What if we share our struggles too? The pain often hides in shadows, but it can find light in community." A hush fell, replaced by genuine expressions of thoughtfulness. This was not just about joyful truths, but the raw honesty that could bring true transformation. Martha felt a stirring deep within her. Yes, true healing comes from our struggles shared. We could create a brave space where it's safe to express our burdens, where vulnerability leads to strength. A murmur of agreement spread through the group, pulling them closer into this vision born of hope. Hearts began to intertwine in a beautiful collage of collective grief and joy. As the evening rounded its final moments, Martha peered into the glowing faces of her friends, feeling the heartbeat of divine purpose surround them. This was the beginning of something astonishing. "Tonight," she said, words laden with prayerful urgency, "let us be the change. Let's weave our dreams into reality. Let's prepare to plant the seeds of healing in this community and trust God to grow them into magnificent gardens." With a newfound sense of commitment, they began to plan, forming a beautiful path lit by mutual courage. Yet, as they shaped this vision, Martha felt the mystery of the night whispering ancient secrets. What divine purpose awaited them just around the corner? What challenges and miracles would weave into their story as they stepped boldly into the unknown? The moon hung low, casting a gentle glow over the gathering, illuminating faces filled with anticipation. Everyone could feel a stirring in the atmosphere, a current of something divine drawing them together. Martha looked around, her heart swelling with gratitude. Each face reflected a yearning for connection, a desire to heal. "Let's all take a moment," she suggested softly. "Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and listen. Let's seek God's guidance in this moment." As they closed their eyes, silence enveloped them. The world faded away, leaving a sacred space where their hearts could converse with the Creator. Martha felt the warmth of God's presence wash over her, a soft whisper of encouragement filling the air. "Lord, show us the way," she prayed quietly in her heart. Guide us in how to build this sanctuary. May it be a place of healing, love, and truth. Across from her, Mr. Harper suddenly spoke up, his voice breaking through the silence. I just had a vision. It was like seeing all our stories swirling together like colors in a tapestry, each thread unique but beautiful in its own right. His words hung in the air, igniting an inward exploration within each of them. They opened their eyes, meeting gazes filled with wonder and hope. Chloe's eyes sparkled. What if we share our stories like that? Each person could tell their tale, and together we could create this tapestry of community. Yes, exclaimed Jake, his enthusiasm infectious. It could be a night of stories and song, laughter and tears, a full expression of what it means to be human. Mr. Harper nodded, a smile spreading across his face. And let's not forget prayer. Each story can end with a moment of prayer, lifting it up to God, offering our pain, our joy, all wrapped in faith. They began to share ideas, the vision expanding and intertwining as it took flight. Yet deep within, a part of Martha began to sense a challenge looming. What about the difficult stories? She wondered aloud. Some may find it hard to share their pain. We need to create a safe haven for those heavy hearts. Chloe's expression softened, understanding the gravity of Martha's words. Maybe we could start with smaller groups, she suggested. That way, those who are hesitant can ease into sharing. It could foster trust before we gather everyone together. The group nodded, appreciating the delicacy of such an approach. The conversation became a beautiful rhythm, weaving together ideas, hopes, and vulnerabilities. They were crafting something sacred, a ministry that mirrored the very heart of Jesus. As plans began to solidify, Martha felt an overwhelming sense of love for this group. Each one of them held a unique light, and together they began to shine brighter than any one of them alone. Let's hold our first gathering of hearts next week, Martha proposed, and we can invite our friends, our family, anyone in need of healing or a safe space to share. In that moment of resolution, a sense of peace washed over them like a gentle wave. They were stepping out, committed to carrying the light and love into their community. It was beautiful, yet there was an undercurrent of uncertainty that lingered just beyond reach. As the night drew to a close and they began to part ways, Martha noticed a figure, the shadows, an elderly woman she hadn't seen before. She looked weary, burdened by something unspoken. Martha hesitated, feeling the call of the spirit tugging at her heart. "Excuse me," she said softly, stepping toward the woman. "Would you like to join us? We'd love to have your story in our gathering." The woman raised her eyes, revealing a depth of sorrow and resilience. For a moment, it felt like eternity suspended around them, as if time was offering both of them a chance to connect. Martha felt the weight of something significant in the air. What story did this woman carry? What light could shine from her experience? In that sacred pause, as she awaited a response, Martha realized that the journey ahead held the promise of the unknown, the discovery of uncharted territories both within and among them. What wisdom would emerge from the stories that had yet to be told? What layers of healing awaited in the tapestry they were beginning to weave? The elderly woman looked into Martha's eyes, a glimmer of surprise mixed with a deep sadness painting her features. "You see me?" she whispered, her voice trembling like a fragile leaf in the gentlest breeze. "Most people pass right by without a glance." "I do see you," Martha replied, her heart reaching out, "and I feel you. Would you like to share your story with us?" An almost invisible sigh escaped the woman as she straightened her frail shoulders, holding a lifetime of tears in her gaze. "My name is Evelyn," she said softly. "I haven't told my story to anyone in years. It's heavy, but maybe it's time." With each word, the night deepened, the moon casting silver streaks through the clouds. Martha sensed the air thickening with anticipation. Others, still lingering nearby, had quieted down, drawn in by the pull of Evelyn's vulnerability. "I lost my husband last year," Evelyn began, her voice steadying. "We spent over 50 years together. He was my rock, my heart. When he passed, it felt like a part of me died, too." She paused, swallowing hard. "Grief became my constant companion, whispering lies that I'd never be whole again." Martha felt tears welling up, the weight of Evelyn's sorrow resonating within her. The others stood quietly, the gathering morphing into a cocoon of compassion. "Some days," Evelyn continued, "I couldn't even find the strength to pray. I thought God had abandoned me. But deep within, there was a spark, a whisper that I could still find joy, even in pain." Chloe stepped closer, holding her breath. "What changed for you, Evelyn?" she gently asked, her voice like a balm for the aching hearts present. Evelyn's gaze lifted slightly, revealing a flicker of hope. "I began to write letters to my husband. Words spilled out like water from an overflowing cup. It became my escape, my way to process the grief. And somehow, I felt God guiding my pen, reminding me of the love we shared." Jake leaned in, captivated by her truth. "That sounds beautiful. Did you ever share those letters with anyone?" Evelyn shook her head, a half smile breaking through the sadness. "No, only God read them. But I think they helped weave the threads of my healing. They taught me that our love doesn't end, it transforms." As her story unfolded, a sense of warmth wrapped around the gathering. A radiant light seemed to emerge from the shared intimacy of Evelyn's tale. Martha felt, more than saw, how each person held a fragment of the miraculous in their own experiences. "What if we created a space for letters at our gathering of hearts?" Martha proposed gently, feeling inspired. "A corner where people can pen their stories. They don't have to share if they aren't ready. Just let the words breathe. Let them unfold free." Evelyn nodded, tears shimmering in her eyes. Yes, that could be healing. A way to let others know they're not alone. The group murmured in agreement, each heart resonating with Evelyn's depth. They began envisioning the corner filled with paper and pens, where silent stories could blossom into vibrant connections. As they huddled together in the glow of the moonlight, Martha felt a surge of divine purpose fill her. She realized the sacred tapestry was not just theirs. It belonged to everyone willing to share their light, their burden. "Let us be a beacon for those like Evelyn," she whispered, her heart beating in sync with the collective faith in the clearing. And just as the conversation was igniting into hopeful plans, Evelyn suddenly looked at Martha, uncertainty mirrored in her aged eyes. "Can I find my sound again after all this pain?" Martha felt a wave of compassion swell within her. "With every story shared, we open pathways to healing. Your voice matters and it holds power." Evelyn smiled then, a flicker of something divine ignited behind the weariness. In that moment, beneath the soft luminescence of the moon, a gentle yet profound truth enveloped them. Every shared story brought forth healing. Each thread woven into the tapestry of community laid the foundation for something extraordinary. What other stories would emerge, cradled in this sacred sanctuary? What miracles awaited as hearts opened, revealing the beauty hidden within? The days rolled on, and the heartbeat of St. Anne's grew louder with the rhythm of faith. The gathering of hearts blossomed into an awaited sanctuary, drawing in weary souls like moths to a flame. Martha watched with wonder as stories poured forth, weaving together a vibrant tapestry of shared experiences, a living testament to grace. Jake stood bright-eyed by her side, his spirit alight with purpose. They shared stories, laughter erupted over joyful memories, and tears traced the contours of sorrowful tales. The space felt alive, charged with energy, like the tender pulse of a new creation. One evening, under the glow of string lights, Evelyn took the stage with a mix of nerves and exhilaration. She clutched a bundle of letters, words born from pain. Grief transformed into hope. Each letter is a piece of my heart, she said, her voice shaking but strong. They carry the memories of love and loss, but they also hold the promise that healing is possible. The congregation held their breath, captivated. What I've learned, Evelyn continued, is that pain isn't a solitary affair. When we let it breathe, when we share the depths of our struggles, we cultivate a garden of understanding. We bring each other back to life. Martha's eyes welled with tears of joy. Strangers embraced friends, laughter danced with sobs, and burdens began to lift. She could feel a palpable shift, a surge of divine healing sweeping through them. This was what they had hoped for. Connections bloomed like wildflowers in untamed fields. Later that night, Martha knelt in the chapel, the amber candles flickering softly in the stillness. "Lord," she whispered, "thank you for every soul that has come through these doors. Each story, each expression is a reminder of your love." Suddenly, an illuminating warmth enveloped her. She sensed the heavenly presence wrapping around her, affirming, "You are in my will. This space shines brightly with my glory. Keep sharing, keep loving." Empowered, Martha rose from her knees and felt a divine urgency swell within her. They had just begun. With each passing week, the gathering became known throughout neighboring villages. They hosted workshops and prayer vigils where the spirit of unity ignited fire in the hearts of weary strangers. It was a gentle revolution sparked by openness and love. As the season changed and leaves turned gold, word reached them of a family struggling with addiction akin to what Jake had faced. Martha and Jake felt their spirits stir. It was time to extend outreach to those like the past version of Jake, lost but holding on to the glimmer of hope. "Mama," Jake said one evening as they prepared for the outreach, "we need to show them that freedom is possible." "Yes," Martha replied, excitement lighting her voice. "Your journey is proof. We can be their guides, helping them to see their potential." Driven by compassion, they set up a meeting with the struggling family, offering their stories of triumph and the healing they had found together. The night of the meeting, as they spoke, even amidst tears and tremors, hope flickered in the eyes of their audience. It was the lifelight that comes from sharing intimate scars, and Martha realized this was a sacred call. Later, after sharing, Martha gazed at the family they had just come from. As they left, she could sense burdens lightening, hearts opening. "We aren't just changing our community," she whispered to Jake. "We are modeling what true love looks like." As the cool wind swept through the village, they continued to witness transformation unfold. Those who had once felt alone became threads intertwined in the fabric of collective resilience. Each story intertwined with laughter, healing, and new beginnings. And then, as if to mark the growth, Mr. Harper approached Martha one evening, a warm smile illuminating his face. "Martha," he said, "look at what has bloomed in our village. It's like a beautiful garden." Tears brushed her cheeks. "Yes, Mr. Harper, each story we share is like watering those plants, nourishing the roots." Their gathering had birthed a movement. Hearts were mending, burdens lifted, and the spirit of community thrived like never before. In the quiet moments, Martha felt God nudging her heart again. "Continue to share," the whisper echoed. "Invite more in." She gathered the community once more, and with Jake at her side, she expressed her vision. "Let's transform this gathering into a permanent ministry." a home for every story, every struggle, a place where light will continue to break through darkness. The congregation erupted in applause, their spirits uniting. As the applause faded into sacred silence, Martha caught sight of the twinkling stars through the stained glass windows, and deep down she knew this was only the beginning. They would keep shining, keep sharing, and keep inviting those lost in darkness, allowing God's love to pour forth through every heart willing to share. Hope was no longer a distant promise. It was a living, breathing force, transforming lives. Each person carried the divine spark within them, waiting to illuminate the world. As they gathered together, Martha breathed in deeply, smiling through tears. This journey, their journey, had created ripples of healing that reached far beyond what they understood. And so they pressed on, hearts united, path illuminated by faith. Her spirit soared as she knew in every fiber of her being they would continue to manifest divine blessings in one glorious tapestry of love. This is where the story culminates in unabashed faith. Now, beloved, this is your moment. You need to subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories that will touch your soul. Leave a like now. This action feeds the algorithm, igniting inspiration for seekers just like you. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this incredible ending. What touched your heart the most? And don't wait even one more second. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. True servants of God understand the importance of spreading hope, love, and faith.